I went through all the scooter emails yesterday.
Okay.
And then I went through that with Nancy. And sure enough, and so there's a whole bunch of these back and forth with Scooter about EPA. So I am extremely pleased with how you handled the whole EPA deal.
Okay.
From start to finish. And I have been telling everybody that the grade we made on our inspection was A-, and that we couldn't hope for anything better.
Okay.
So the guys that count, which is me and Holda, are happy with an A- grade. Now, Scooter wants to get rid of me and Bill, so he's trying to use that EPA to say two things. Number one, that it's not an A grade, it was an F grade, and I'm trying to hide it and cover up all the bad things, and that me and Bill should be fired or sent to jail because of all our gross violations, and we're hiding it and covering it up. So he's trying to get a bunch of stuff and a bunch of stink. And so what I did yesterday was wrote a rather lengthy, for me, I usually write one sentence. Well, this was 2 or 3 pages of explanation about here's how that whole peer review process worked. And it wasn't the EPA inspectors that were here, it was our peer review process. There's no fines, there's no penalties, there's no federal violations, there's no crime, and we're not covering up anything. Now, when the official report comes out, it's going to come through the lawyer's office, and it is in fact going to be client attorney privileged, and I'm not going to release it. I am in fact going to hide it from the public. And
why would you do that? I mean, if we don't have nothing, I'm just, why would, seem like if they was questioning it for them, why would you want them not to see the report because we're not doing nothing?
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
But, for instance, the one that he's got his grip on right now is the pipe where the cover was missing from the pipe. The insulation is now all...
Yeah, there was several of those on campus, and
right.
That's what I was wanting to tell Dr. Holder, but I didn't tell him in an email because he said it was non-friable. But the reason why the guy took a picture of it was because the covering was off of it, and it was friable.
That's correct. And so
they didn't have to inspect it because he didn't take a picture of where it says asbestos.
I know. But he did on his little, they had their little clipboard where they wrote, and it does say asbestos exposed.
Right, okay.
Okay, and so Scooter's seen that, and he said that is a federal violation. We're killing people on campus, and if it weren't for Scooter, we would have killed all these students that were coming through that building. Of course, he has no idea what building we're talking about. And so the whole point is that there's going to be some smoke and stink, but nothing bad is going to happen out of it, and I don't want you to get riled up about it. So what I'm doing with Scooter right now is sending this long letter to all the board members, and my intention is on how to handle Scooter is, number one, he has no authority other than to vote at the meetings, and he doesn't come to all the meetings. So if I get the other board members to say, look, what a great job we did, then I could care less what Scooter does until he tries to take it to a court of some sort, file at the district attorney that I violated federal laws, and that's why I may not do release the official report. What the bill has already released is the PowerPoint slide presentation. That's now out there. It's on the street.
So we're not
And-
going to give them anything else, is what you're saying.
So I don't know.
Okay.
I'm saying that I'm fine with what has happened so far. And Scooter's trying to make a big stink out of it, and we'll see where that goes. But from your standpoint, I think everything was very, very good. And I just got to work with Hulda on how we respond to what we're going to put out to Konzak and Scooter.
I didn't see anything from Konzak. How's Konzak in it? So I guess I'm just concerned a little bit. I mean, it frustrated me a little bit because
Konzak, it frustrates you because you did a really, really good job, and the end result of you doing a good job is that now we're talking about these bad things, and that's unfair because it was really very good, and all of us guys that know what was going on know that it was good. All right, but Scooter wants to make it bad, and so does Konzak. So Scooter and Konzak work hand in hand, and Scooter does things to the board. He can make motions and speeches to the board,
Yeah.
and he's unlimited.
And why is he worried about the insurance and all that? I didn't understand all that. That's why I did not respond to Dr. Holders, because it looked like he wasn't giving all the information, or he didn't have the information, or whatever. So I just figured it's best for me not to say anything at all.
That is correct.
And that's what I told Huck, because Huck was wanting to come over here, and I said no.
No, the best thing is to let me just handle it, and I'm trying to tell you how I'm handling it.
Okay.
Number one is that Scooter, I have to handle Scooter by outvoting him with the other board members. So my letter is going to the board members, all 9 of them, and I now have 9 people on the board again. So out of my 9 board members, I know that 6 of them are going to be real happy with our end result. And so my whole letter yesterday to the board was, we're real happy with the way this came out, and that we've worked on it for 4 years to get us to this point. When we had our inspection, we passed with flying colors, and we're all happy with it. Now, on an individual basis, Scooter's trying to say, Dan's lying, it was bad, Dan knows it's bad, and he's covering that up. And since Scooter is my boss as a board member, that Scooter could be held legally responsible. So he wants to know, where's the insurance that insures him as a board member that he can't be held responsible, such as pay for all the fixes or to go to jail.
Do we have that? Do we have insurance for them? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just playing, not playing it here, and I really don't understand the politics up high, you know what I'm saying? I just
So
do what
we have 2 kinds of
I've heard the story from Dwayne about how we could dig a hole and throw people in there, and as long as we're on campus, it's limited liability, and we can only receive minor fines and limited lawsuits on campus because we're protected, because we're a state entity or something.
Right.
But we don't have protection on the highways.
right.
He's told me that 1,000 times, I think. So have you, and that's exact. Y'all all repeat the same thing. Mr. Jenkins and Dr. Holder have all said the same thing, which I understand that, but to me, I still don't think we should dig a hole and throw people in it.
Right.
That's not a good.
And when you talk about federal rules, EPA
Okay.
is federal rules, that doesn't always hold true. That under state rules, we are exempt from a lot of liability. But what Scooter's looking at here is that if there are federal violations, could it be held against the board members? And of course, if he really was worried about that, all he's got to do is quit from the board. That's his noise, but his game is to try and make Dan and Holder look bad, because he's been now for 2.5 years trying to run us off and make us not only look bad in the community, but literally embarrass us so bad that we have to quit our job. and then he can get somebody in here that he likes better.
I have one more question, and I'll let you go on. Because, you know, me, Murphy, and Terry were sitting in the office, and you know that. You think this is just from the EPA digging stuff that don't have anything to do with the rangerette abatement or the hospital abatement that Murphy done? I mean, you know what I'm talking about? Because we worried, because we got online and there was people going to jail over disposing of asbestos illegally, abating in hospitals and schools. Those people are getting jail time for doing what we did.
Okay, well, what we did is gone.
Okay.
Okay? There's...
And I ain't trying to throw this on you,
I know. And
those
so,
were the discussions we had was, you know, we just doing what we're told, and you know, I even told you it was a federal law that day, and too many people knew. What I'm asking you, do you think it's about Scooter making noise, or do you think Ethan or one of them or some contractor at the hospital or Mosby over here when we did the one pipe? You see where my concern is? I can't do jail time over something stupid doing my job.
Okay. And no one's after you. Scooter's
Okay.
after me and Bill. Okay? So, you not answering was just fine. And
that's why we didn't answer,
and that's just fine.
because now if we say something about those things and Dr. Holder didn't know or did know, or then we get you in trouble. We don't want to get you in trouble, and we don't want to.
Right. And so this whole thing, we just have to dance
Okay.
around with all this stuff. And I do not believe any of us are going to get in trouble over any of that stuff that you mentioned. All these little things that we've done in the past, which would be technical violations, those are not at all what we're talking about here. So,
And see, another thing, I didn't tell you this, but Leon Dodgen came to me the day before the audit, and then he told me not to take the auditors out to his house, and he didn't want to talk to them. I don't even know how Leon Dodgen would even be saying anything about that. Well, I've always heard that that's where they hauled all the stuff in the past was and threw it out there at his house.
where does he live?
I don't even know where Leon Dodgen lives. I don't know
Did
nothing
we
about
do it in
Leon.
his backyard, or we used his trash can?
Murray said he'd been hauling it out there for years. So I don't know. But there's too many people stirring the Kool-Aid, so we just kind of panicked, so I just shut up.
Okay. Well, I'll just tell you that what I was trying to do is let you know that I haven't ignored that. I've done something about it.
Okay.
And I believe that what I've done is appropriate, which is to tell the other board members that we did real good on our inspection, and that there are no fines, there's no penalties, there's no threat of anybody going to jail. And so that's the letter that I wrote to the board yesterday.
And the other one was, what was I mean, did we even do a survey on the house in Longview?
And we got a letter from the city that said we tear it down.
I know.
Wayne's got all that.
Okay. Well, the city
And we've
doesn't
got the
regulate
lawyer.
the federal.
We've got the lawyers that ruled that it doesn't apply.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm just
No.
making sure, because
We're just,
that's what I was worried about, is all this, that there's public. I mean, Scooter has access to all that stuff. So, I mean, you're going to make me need another pill.
Don't need Bill. I'm trying to tell you that I got it all taken
You got
care
to,
of.
okay, that's all I want to hear is
I'm trying to tell you that
Dan took care of it.
I was gone.
Because that's what we all decided.
That I was gone, and it left you holding the bag, and that's what it felt like, and I'm back, and now I'm holding the bag,
Okay.
and
And I got nothing to worry about.
taking care of it.
Okay.
So let me handle
Work your
Holder
magic.
and Scooter. And the way I'm doing that is that he's going to get voted down on everything at the board level. And the only other thing that he can try to do is to go to the district attorney, which he can't do because he's on the board. So he has Conzac to do that. And Conzac doesn't have anything to work with. And no one except Scooter is trying to do anything. So this is a lot of noise that's going nowhere. And I didn't pat you on the back nearly enough on the EPA days because I got sidetracked on train and it just completely took me off base. Okay?
I understand that. You're not going to like the train thing either.
Right, and so the train thing is a whole different discussion,
Okay.
and so we'll kind of get into that right now too. But I wanted you to, because I never said it, about how happy I was on how you handled the entire journey on the EPA. And I considered that you made an A on the test. And I've been telling everybody that we made an A on the test and that we are in way better shape than so many other schools around the state. And that we don't have a problem. Okay, so